Maybe you weren't expecting to hear from me so soon. In our last video, we said this is going to be the final video for 2023, but I would like to do one more video with just the subscribers and those who follow the channel closely. What we're going to do is we're going to speak about this map, and we're also going to look at some viewer comments, because in this last video, I said that I was glad that we've been able to come this far, and I mentioned the Persian Empire. I'd like to just really show you clearly what I meant by that. So if we go to this map, and I'll show you the video and the point of time we were actually speaking about this. So from the Roman Empire and the Holy Land series, 6 months ago, we did this video. Where did Alexander the Great's generals really fight for his empire? So we've been speaking about the Persian Empire, and now we're moving into the Macedonian era. This is the map that we were working with. Now, this might be a bit of a shock to some of the new subscribers that have only recently joined and haven't maybe fully dived into the channel yet with what we're saying. This was our main picture that we were working with, and we can see that it's going to be very different to, let's say, the accepted view for the Macedonian Empire, with this stretching further to the east, going towards India and China. But our picture, predominantly we're focusing on Africa, and that's where we were for quite a long time with our focus. And what some of the key things I was saying at this point was, if this is true, what we're putting forward, then it needs to hold up. It needs to ring true. But at this point, there were things that we left unanswered. We didn't put on this map Lysimachus Thrace and Cassander Macedon, so these generals fighting for Alexander the Great's empire. So the three in color were the ones that we were confident to put on the map at this stage. And we left the two without color, saying we're going to try come back to these. So that's actually what we've been trying to do with our continuing to investigate and to study, is starting to move around this map, examining these kingdoms and this geography to try see if we could actually answer Macedonia and Thrace. So we still haven't been able to circle them, to have the confidence to circle them, but we have learned a lot. We have discovered some interesting things. And why I'm glad is because we've actually connected the work together. That's what I'd like to explain. If I just zoom out. So if we notice here, for Antigonus, for the Phrygian kingdom, this is actually disconnected from the history that it needs to connect with Thrace and Macedon. So at this point, it almost feels like we have like a vulnerability or a weakness, because if we can't answer Thrace and Macedon, does that mean that everything that we put forward is invalid or is not true? And I've noticed that, looking at other channels, other people are also making mention of this, that it's a sad part of modern scholarship that if you put something forward, critics just focus on a few things that they can find, maybe some weak points, and blow those up in order to discredit the whole picture or everything that you're saying. Even if they can't discredit most of what you're saying, they just try to focus on a few things. So at this point, we could say we had some vulnerability, even though we were trying to be confident to say, look, this is what we're researching, this is what we found, let's put this forward to see what people say and maybe to encourage others to look into this. But now, if you think about our recent map, where we were speaking about the history of the Phrygians, this map actually connects now to this map, if you think about that. So we actually do have a connection now to the Phrygian kingdom with this map and these things that we've been discovering. So that's actually quite important. So that we do actually have a theory and an answer for Thrace and Macedon, even though I still think there's lots more to discover, where we can actually be more confident to circle Thrace and Macedon on this map. But we actually do have a theory and a picture that can work with what we were saying with this with the Macedonian Empire, but then also previously with the Persian Empire. Because in this video I said, well, I drew attention to one of our videos about the Persian Empire reaching to Spain. So the previous empire to this one, the Persian Empire, we had expanding to the Iberian Peninsula. But when we were saying that, we didn't really have a clear picture or understanding how the European history would work with that. But we were still putting it forward because, we're trying to present what we were, thinking at the time. And even you could say, it's more than that. It becomes like a belief. I know there'll be many people watching that have strong beliefs. And if you have beliefs, you don't really necessarily need to have proof because you believe. But we've actually tried to continue with the study and the investigating so that we could actually link this together with the European history. Because I was also trying to, think about this, that it would be strange if we didn't find problems with European history as well. Thinking about, these parts that we're circling, we're finding problems with geography for the European history. And that makes sense because our picture is so different. You would expect there to be a really strong ripple effect throughout history in order for this map and this picture to be true. If you came to the European history and you didn't find any major troubles or problems, that would be very strange. So the fact that we do seem to be uncovering problems with the European history. We just recently did a video questioning the geography for European history. That's part of that's part of what we would expect to help grow in confidence that that this picture can hold up under scrutiny and it does still ring true. So yeah, I just wanted to give you that update so you maybe know why I was glad in the video to say that we've managed to connect the work together and we've come a long way. So that's just the update for where we're kind of at the moment. And now in the next part, we'll go look at some of these viewer comments. Let's try catch up with some interesting but also important comments from the subscribers or viewers. I'm not going to read out all the comments, but just in case you didn't get a chance to read them, this was coming from the video where we looked at the verse from the book of Isaiah. So the verse was, "See, I will create new heavens and a new earth. The former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind." I was feeling quite inspired and excited for the week ahead when we did this video, but there was also still some feelings of doubt. So this message from our brother was very timely, a very powerful message if you'd like to read it. And I think it's very important that we are reminded that we can't do these things by ourselves. We can do nothing on our own. And also going into the next comment from Glenn, where Glenn was not sure about the doubts. So it's a case of the fact that we're doing so much work looking into the past, studying ancient history with these kingdoms and these empires. And then if you think about the verse where it's saying, these things won't be remembered or not going to come into memory, then maybe we could think about or say, are we wasting precious time? So that's why I think this comment was so timely to help encourage, not only myself, but maybe others out there who might want to, think about what's being said here, that it, is important what we're trying to do, and also many other channels on YouTube and other platforms, also undertaking. So yeah, thank you so much for that comment, for that video. And Glenn also wasn't sure about the changes. I mentioned maybe we could make some small changes. So the only thing that we did was we tried to put a little bit more effort into the presentation. So just a few small differences, trying to put a little bit more effort into the presentation of the videos. So let me know if you noticed and if you maybe thought that was good to see. And then Glenn gives some interesting ideas about what could happen in terms of the new heavens and the new earth. If you'd like to read that, you can always pause and read. And then Andy also gives a similar perspective, but I just thought it was interesting how it ends here with whatever was going on before that is indeed forgotten. So it just made me think about the great flood, Noah's great flood, and the world before this. Who's really thinking about that previous world? It does become like a forgotten world. And maybe that's also something to think about for us, is that we are still in our world, thinking about this comment, not to get ahead of ourselves, to stay calm and think about where we are here and now. So yeah, lots to think about and to be thankful for, which goes into one of our next comments coming up. We'll mention that. I'll read this one because it's a bit shorter. My impulse is to recover and preserve as much of our past as possible, because nothing is more valuable, and without it there can be no truth. So what I'd like to say about this one is, when we've been releasing these videos for the past few weeks, I've kind of been thinking about the wars that are broken out and the wars that are ongoing, wondering about the fact that we're releasing these videos when there's a lot of tragedy and suffering in the world. But just thinking about this comment, thinking about truth, because of what's going on in the world, there's lots of cries for peace. But what about the cry for truth? Can you really have lasting peace, real peace, without truth? So that's kind of what this channel is about, is a cry for truth. And I think you need that truth to really try build the foundations to have peace. So yeah, I think very important what the viewer is saying here, this feeling of trying to do something along those lines. And now a different video was Germany called Scythia. We have this very simple but very powerful comment: thank God for the Bible. And that's what I meant by thinking about what we can be thankful for, because there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of deception out there. It becomes difficult to know what we can trust. If you think about the nature of our work, what sources can we trust? So it's just nice to have something where you can be sure about. And yeah, that's why I would just like to echo this comment for our channel. And then, what does the name Hercules mean? So the main meaning that we're given is Hera's glory. So Hera, Hercules' mother, and then glory. So Hera's glory. If it doesn't mean that, then maybe glorious warrior, or some sort of glorious hero. And I just want to bring this up because it goes into our next comment from a different video from Phil, tracing the goat. We did a lot of work speaking about the Goths and the fact that Hercules could be a goat hero. So that's something that we could do going forward, is spend more time focusing on Hercules. We did say we might do a video on all the things that we've learned about Hercules. So I just want to put this out there now to the subscribers and the viewers that follow the channel, that because we have reached some sort of a conclusion where we've managed to connect the work together, we are at a point where we could maybe talk about some different things, explore some different things. So if you would like to suggest some ideas, if you'd like us to try explore something together, now would be a good time to say that. But obviously I'm not promising anything. It's not one of those channels where we're going to say, ask us anything and we'll answer it. But yeah, just to be where we are at the moment on the channel, we could go in a few different directions or look at a few different things. So let me know. I'll look out for any comments if there is something you'd like us to look at together. So I think that's going to be it for these comments that I picked out. Thank you so much for taking the time to send these comments. You can see how the viewers or subscribers are putting a lot of thought, and yeah, it's like putting a part of yourself into the comments. So, and it really does make a big difference. So I really appreciate these comments that have come to us on this journey, because it's been quite a long journey. It feels like a long journey, even though it's only a year really. But yeah, I've really there has been lots of ups and downs. Those of you who have followed, maybe I don't know if there is people following right from the start, but there has been lots of ups and downs. Maybe you've seen when I've maybe struggled at some points. There's been points where we've had videos coming off the channel and then videos coming back on the channel. So it hasn't been a smooth sailing, that's for sure. But yeah, thank you for going on this journey with me. And yeah, it's probably not going to be too long before we see each other again, but stay safe. Maybe you might see this video before the new year, or you might see it after. Either way, I just wish you blessings for the new year, for your family and for yourself. And yeah, I just pray that we can be protected and guided as we continue on this journey together.